Hi friends, in this video I wanted to share my book journey with you. So if you're thinking about writing a book or you're currently writing a book and you're running into all of these doubts and fears and challenges, I want you to know that you're not alone, and that's why I created this video, because I've been going through this journey so far and I'm just like, wow. Sometimes writing isn't the hardest part. It's like all of the things that go along with it, right? The thoughts of what if no one reads this book? What if no one buys this book? Or what if people do buy this book and they don't like it? So I wanted to talk about that in this video. And as always, I wrote a list of things down. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing is, why did I start writing this book? And I did for a couple of reasons. Honestly, just wanted to do something new, and I thought it'd be a fun project. I love marketing and sales and all of those things. And I feel like writing a book incorporates all of that. It incorporates actually writing the book, doing the research, getting feedback, thinking of ways to market it. And so I thought it'd be like a really fun project to work on. But if you have a business or a personal brand, I think that I could really help you grow your business or grow your personal brand, or both. Like if you have a business, say you are an email marketer and you create a book all about email marketing, something specific, you could write a book on the 4 different types of sequences that people might have in their business, or how to write emails that get really conversion rate for your courses or digital products or whatever it is, right? So you can then use that as a lead magnet for your services or anything that you might be selling or things like that. And so it could be a really good idea for your business, and also to build your authority, your expertise, all of those good things. I also decided to write a book because I've been asked over the years of how I've been able to create a location freedom lifestyle. So I am a digital nomad. And so I finally decided to write a book on how to create your own digital nomad adventure. And so that's how I decided on the topic of my book. It's kind of a how-to guide, but also a how to create your own adventure guide, because I really believe that everyone should travel the way that they want to travel, just like everyone should live the way that they want to live. There is no right or wrong way to travel. You don't have to go to, the most countries, or you don't have to have a high country count. I don't have a high country count. I've been to, I think, maybe 10 countries, and that might be high for some people, but to others that might not be very high. It's all relative, right? And so I really wanted my book to be kind of encouragement to live your life however you want to live, while also teaching you the logistics of how to actually plan your trip in case you're overwhelmed with all the information that's needed, like how to pick your destination, how to make friends abroad, how to adapt to a new environment, all of those things, right? Because when you're doing something new, you can feel like a lot is coming at you at once. So how do a lot of people ask me, do I ever get homesick or do I ever get lonely? I don't necessarily get homesick, but I do get lonely sometimes. And I feel like when I'm traveling, it's harder to make friends with that connection, that deeper connection, because you're always traveling, or the people that you meet who often, might be travelers, are also coming and going, and so it's hard to make that deep connection with them. So if you're struggling to come up with a book topic, I recommend doing a mind map or brain dump. So basically listing out all your ideas. So this is not what I did for my book topic, but this is what I did for my chapters in my book. So I just basically did a mind map of what my book is about, and then I did a whole bubble map of these are all the topics I could write about, and so that helped me develop my chapters in my book. Something else that you want to think about when you're coming up with your book topic or writing your book is, who is reading your book, right? You want to come back to who is reading your book. You could even write an actual profile of your readers, so reader profile, so that every time you're struggling, you can go back to that reader profile and be like, okay, these are the things that they want from the book, these are things that they're struggling with, these are the solutions that they're looking for, or these are the solutions that I can help them come up with. And so it helps writing the book easier for you. So like I mentioned earlier in this book, sometimes it's not the writing part that's the hardest. It's all the thoughts that come in, is anyone going to want to read my book? Is my book going to be good enough? Are people going to buy my book and then hate it? All of these things. And something I have to remind myself of is that almost every book out there has a bad review, but that doesn't mean that that book isn't good itself. And also that doesn't translate to you not being good enough. If you're also writing a book, I'd love to know if you can relate to this, but I feel like because of all of these thoughts coming in, it somehow makes writing a book harder. And so what I've been doing is I've been cutting it up into sections, and I've just been writing sections at a time, and I'll jump around the sections too, because at first I was starting from the beginning, but I found I kept getting stuck, and so I wouldn't be able to move on until I finished that section, until finally I realized, hey, I can write this book out of order. I don't have to go from intro to second chapter to third chapter, etc. I can just jump around and do that. And because I used to write a lot of blog posts, then I started treating the chapters as just individual blog posts, and that helped me write a lot quicker, a lot better, and take a little bit of the pressure off. I'm not going to say it took all of the pressure off, but it took a good amount of the pressure off. And also I found myself procrastinating a lot, because I was like, oh, the sooner I finish writing this book, the sooner I have to announce it and sell it. And what if I don't make any sales? And so I found that a lot of overthinking has happened. Let me know if you can also relate to that. So what I did was, okay, I just have to focus on what's the next step in front of me. So the next step in front of me is actually finishing this book. And I almost have all of the chapters done. I think I just have to write 2 more chapters. And so I think I have almost all of the sub chapters done. So I think I just have 2 more subsections, and then I'm basically almost done writing the book. And then after that, I'll be going through and editing before sending it off to an editor. I also have a few people who have offered to beta read it for me, to give me feedback and all of that, which that's another part that I'm nervous about, because you're basically putting yourself out there for critique, right? Which is meant to help you improve the book. But you're also, in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, are people going to find this helpful? Maybe in the back of your mind, you're scared of other people judging you. Maybe you're worried that they're going to read your book and think that, it's not very good, or that your writing sucks, and all these things. But most people are supportive, and I have to remind myself of that, because I am very nervous about other people reading my book. And I was even nervous about doing this YouTube video, to be honest. After my first YouTube video, I posted it, and then I had another one in drafts, which I still have to create a thumbnail for. But then it was on my list last week to record this YouTube video, and I avoided it like the plague, because I was like, what if this YouTube video isn't good enough? And then I started questioning myself. I was like, why did I think that creating a YouTube channel was a good idea? But then I was like, you know what? My YouTube videos don't have to be like everyone else's, because I feel like there's a lot of the YouTube videos that I watch are very, go, 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 very action oriented. And I used to be that person who was very action oriented and a very go, go, go personality or mentality. And I feel like these days I'm much more into slow living and sustainable living, because I feel like when you're going all the time, you burn out more easily, or I used to burn out more easily. But then I realized that there were other YouTube videos that I watched that were more calm and soft spoken, and those brought me more peace and permission to go at my own pace. And I realized that is the kind of energy that I want to put out there. I want to help people realize that they don't have to do things like other people just because it might seem more productive or better. But really what's better is doing what works for you. That's also why I wanted to share my book experience with you, so that in case you're also struggling with some of the things I mentioned, you know that you're not alone, but you can do it. And all you have to do is focus on the next step. Don't worry about all of the other steps. You'll get to them when you get to them, right? Not saying that they're not important, but if you're overthinking everything, every part of the process, whether it's writing a book, or whether it's starting a business, or whether it's planning your travel trip, if you're always thinking about all of the other things and you're getting overwhelmed by them, I want to encourage you to focus on the next step, and the next step, and the next step after that. And it's actually better for you to take those tiny little steps than constantly be overwhelmed by everything and not doing anything at all, because all of those little steps will add up. And as they add up, you'll get more confidence. You'll be like, okay, I can actually do this. And when I write my second book, when I write my third book, when I write my fourth book, I don't know how many books I'm writing, but I plan on writing more than one. The next time it'll be easier for me, and I'll actually have written a book because I kept taking the next step instead of overwhelming myself and never getting that first book out there. So I plan on doing future videos on how I plan on marketing my book and selling my book. So if you're interested in learning about book marketing strategies, or how I can continue selling your book, or how to do your book launch, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, because I am going to be doing videos on that and sharing more of my book journey with you. And if you want to learn more about the book that I'm currently writing, How to Plan Your Own Digital Nomad Adventure, I'm going to drop a link to that in the description below so you can sign up for that. And make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel to get notified of when I post videos in the future. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!